Hi guys, my name is Dante, and welcome back to Outlandish Curiosity. So, we somewhat finished the main part of rendering the 4 first pages of the new chapter, describing our entrance into the new jungle and the symbiotic relationship between Newly Spider and Mullion Bridges. And now we move on to the next 4 spreads, before adding like the final polish to the previous 4 spreads, the discs. Actually, I remember this page, like this specific page right here, where Gilbert is drinking rainwater from these leafy green discs. It happened because of the concept that I created. I added these discs right here, and Kevin, always being open to new ideas, went like, okay, let's actually implement this, and we'll make Gilbert drinking from it. So it's actually a part of the story now, and the frog is jumping on the thing. At least that's the way I remember it. I hope I'm not wrong. Taking credit for a concept that maybe not mine, that's the way I remembered it anyway. This was a very hot day, that's why Gilbert needed to have a drink from the disc, and then suddenly the rain starts, and the frog is happy jumping around, and the whole bunch of migrated frogs from this page are now jumping in the puddles, and suddenly we see a dark figure in the distance. And we'll find out what kind of figure that is in the future videos. But right now, let's start working on the abstraction of these 4, hopefully 4, probably less spreads today. So yeah, starting with the first spread, one thing I did wrong in pretty much every doodle that I slightly colorized afterwards is the colors are incredibly light. I don't even see the purpose of colorizing something when it's like that. I mean, overall I memorized the colors of things, but for instance, the frog's feet and hands should be cyan, and it's not here. But at least we know this is daytime, so that's good. Let's add the middle line. Now I'm gonna be looking at my library of jungle references to overall get the proper feeling of like the contrast and global lighting of dense bushes in the jungles. Overall we can see how there's a lot of deep, dark areas in between the leaves. So I'm gonna try to replicate that kind of stuff. Let's start! Decided to change the color of the discs a little bit. They're like almost yellow, not just green. Just for kicks. Maybe even more saturated they will be. We'll see. Decided to make like a slight hint of clean sky before the heavy rain cloud comes in. I think that was the point. So initially it's a hot day. Even though it would be cloudy, it's still, you know, in the jungles it would be a very high humidity and high temperature, so it's just so hot and you can't breathe almost. Oh, by the way, the glove, you're probably wondering. Yeah, I just decided to give it a try, like another go. This is the glove I've been always using with like all kinds of drawing tablets, like Wacom tablets, whatever. It improves, like you can slide your hand better on the screen, and it removes the gross oils from your hand onto the screen. And also it improves the situation with accidental touches, like triggering touch gestures or whatever. But thing is, on iPad, it works much better when it's just bare hand. There's palm rejection algorithm, and it needs to see the whole palm to reject it. So this didn't work out very well when I started using it, especially because the hands becomes more sweaty when you're wearing the glove, and it just goes through after a little while of usage. It makes accidental touches that are not full palm, they get recognized as actual finger touches, so it messes things up. But I don't know, I'll give it a try right now. It'll probably fail again. I think it already starts failing when my hand becomes a bit moist. But yeah, also this is like a part of a solution I decided to make for the smudgy screen that you see on all my episodes. Like maybe Glove will improve it, but not necessarily. Another thing is I make sure I clean the screen before shooting the episode with a spray and a little piece of cloth. So yeah, hopefully no more gross smudges on the screen in the video. Alright, so I'm getting some of these nicer colors, like more present colors, real contrast around here. Now it's a good time to start thinking on overall the abstraction. We marked everything in. Let's add some interesting flowers, add actual shading on Gilbert and everything, and see how things work out. So now I'm adding some of the puddles. Actually, I'm adding like the reflection pass to the whole picture. Started with Gilbert's outfit. I just grabbed the Gilbert's outfit color, blended it together into something in between with the sky color, and added that where I think the angle is strong enough to reflect the sky a bit. Just marking in, nothing specific, nothing precise or straight anywhere, but that's what I did. And also, I just grabbed the sky color and added semi-transparently into the puddle, because pretty much puddles at this situation is just pure reflection of the sky, nothing else. It's just a small layer of water. It's very transparent. The only thing that gives it away is the reflection. This is looking much more interesting when we introduce like good contrast. Cool, I really like it. Even though I haven't introduced anything interesting to like the background, it's just green nothing. Let's add a little bit of that and move on as quickly as we can to the next page, because it's already been half of this recording session. Alright, there we go with the abstraction level for this spread. Just a little hint on the eyes for the Gilbert. Much better. a quite pretty page. Like, at least it's very interesting to look at. I don't know why, this good contrast of dark leaves and bright discs looks so much more interesting than what it was initially. Well, initially it wasn't anything really, so no reason to compare, but overall, I compare it to something like the way I would show it before. In previous chapters, you see everything was much more flat. Not as realistic. This looks much closer to like a photo because of this darker, deeper greens, like realistic shadows. And here it's really like a cartoon, very fluffy, nice environment. And this jungle is suddenly much more realistic. So I'll probably color correct things a little bit in the previous pages and add some deeper shadows maybe when I'll go through all the pages with the final polish stage. But overall, this is really cool. Let us move on to the next spread. Really don't have a lot of time for it though. So now we have Gilbert pointing at the sky. It's raining, which is great for him and also for the frog. So this is what's going on. There's a lot of text, especially on the second page. So we really just need to introduce a whole lot of foliage, a whole lot of puddles with raindrops, a good and heavy rain cloud, and nice rendering with good contrast on Gilbert. So let's continue. Man, this is some demonic creature right here. Bah! Alright, so the feeling of rain, I really nailed, I think, here. Now let's add some of the, I don't know, more comfortable content to this picture. I want to add some air perspective too, because this doesn't feel deep enough. Especially when it's raining, by the way, we need to make it much stronger. Because pretty much like right now I'm painting the rain already. This is raindrops just so far away and so small that they're just creating this light fog. The ball design strikes again. Okay, the glove isn't working. Not because of the sweat, it's completely dry. It's just that these two fingers are covered and this one isn't. And when I draw, I accidentally touch the screen with this finger. And this is like a pure random touch that is canceling the strokes all the time. Really annoying. Like, for the last 10-15 minutes, I've been making every stroke twice. So yeah, the glove is not a thing on iPad. Not for a long-term work, at least. But if you work on a different kind of tablets and you wanna get one, look up Smudge Guard. Decided to add some saturation, at least to the nearest foliage. The green color should be more saturated. Because overall, green is not too far from like cold color, so even if we're creating cold ambience, it won't be desaturated. But also what's important, when it rains in nature, everything becomes more saturated because it becomes less dusty. When everything's wet, it looks more saturated. That's usually the way things are. When it's raining, the nature looks much prettier, much more vibrant. So at least in the nearest area it needs to be more saturated. And further away there's obviously this fog watery perspective of the rain over there. Alright, there we go. Definitely good enough for the abstraction level. This is what we've got. I think it's working out pretty cool. Working with rain is always fun because it's an easy and strong way to add atmosphere and certain situation to the scene. So yeah, it's working out pretty well. And it's interesting how things are actually different on these pages. Really cool. But you guys tell me what you think. Tell me if I forgot something, I don't know. Moving along pretty cool, kind of hoping to finish the book soon enough. But for now, this is it. And I thank you for watching if you did. I guess you did if you're here. Leave a like and subscribe, tell a friend. Make it wet. Do whatever you want. And I will see you in the next one. Bye! Oh yeah, with a lot of text specifically, it's gonna look pretty good. Thought for a second there that these two pages are kind of too blank. But no, they're not.